G'day guys and welcome to another Wednesday night live stream. So good to see so many people in here already. Hope everyone's had a good and safe week. So it's been a very busy week and very interesting week in the gun shooting sort of arena for the news. So before we start, of course, as usual, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, find us on Instagram, Facebook, and also give the video a thumbs up. And all of Jason's social medias are down in the description below as well. So we'll just jump straight into it and bring Jason in. Good evening, Jason.
Welcome, everyone. Good to be back for another stream. What's been happening?
Oh, not much. Working away, and that's been about it. And you've been on a you took your guns out for a bit of fresh air, but didn't shoot anything, did you?
Yeah, took them on a trip. Just had to get them out of this gun safe. You know, they were crying a bit, so they had to get out of the gun safe, go on a bit of a trip in the car and a trip back. You know, so they went out for a few days, but they didn't take anything. So it was a little bit raining on one of the nights. Got pretty wet, and then pretty much 2 days of just fog where we were, and it wouldn't lift for about 2 days. And the last day we finally left, everything, as usually does, clears up. But a lot of sign of deer, a lot of prints, just don't know where they were. I was going in all these gullies, 7-8 hours a day out in the field, sitting, waiting, moving to spots, just, no luck. So, that's what happens. What do? Just got to hope for the best next time and keep going. He who quits doesn't get rewarded. So,
No, exactly. But you did some quite nice photos and stuff. You can see on your Facebook page. It looks pretty good. At least you had a good time. That's the main thing.
Man, it was good, man. There's nothing like being. I enjoy that just as much as hunting. Being out with mates and sitting around a campfire or cooking and laughing, and it's just, man, that's what I love. I love that part of hunting throughout the day, and then mornings and sometimes in the nighttime. Obviously, most nights, crack a drink over the fire and talk and cook some food over the fire, mate. Nothing better. And we had a good crew, about 6 people, so it was great, man.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's really good to see. Yeah, started cleaning out my gun room and found a few things I thought I hadn't. Yeah, I bought years ago and haven't used yet, so I can't wait to get out myself and have a bit of a crack. Unfortunately, I was going to go out and it started raining again.
Yeah, no, it just started raining here tonight again. So I don't know what's happening with this rain business, but there's nothing worse when it rains when you're out in wintertime, these cold areas, nothing ever gets dry. Did take the diesel heater. That's a winner, man, that thing. Oh, mate, was snug as a bug in a rug in our tent. Get a diesel heater, guys, if you haven't got one yet. Look them up on the internet. Look on YouTube. So long as you've got like a secondary battery system and some way to charge it, either DC to DC charger or solar, mate, you'll be snug as a bug in a rug in your tent at night. That's for sure. Even the lowest setting, we were just beautiful, mate, and dries everything out, dries your bedding out. And you get, in winter, you get that wet feeling. You just can't get anything dry, and it's like it's been raining for 4 days. Well, when you've only got temperatures of 12, 11, and 12 as a high, and 5 or 6 or 7 is the average, and then gets down to 2 or 3, you can't dry anything. So this is just fantastic, man. Look them up on the internet. Best thing ever.
Yeah, they don't cost that much either, do they?
Epic Flyer said here they cost $3,000, man. I've shelled out to China. I got a Chinese one, like all my mates off. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them on AliExpress. Mate, no problems whatsoever. No problems at all. Trust me. Go buy one. You buy the one that's already in the red box, but if you're already ready to go, that you put outside your tent. But if you've got a camper, you can just buy the kit and then you just install it in your camper, and it's pretty easy, dude. The only thing is you just got to run them on high, like when you finish, just to make sure you clean out all the soot and stuff like that. They do take about 5 minutes to warm up, 5-minute cool down, but once they're going, mate, geez, they crank out. It's just great. Get one. Trust me. Just get one.
Yeah, they do sound really good. Really good. Last night I messaged you, Jason, and I got banned on Facebook.
Yeah, I would have banned you as well. Just for being you.
Yeah, all of a sudden, out of the blue, banned. They didn't like one of my posts, but it must have been some sort of mistake because half an hour later, after I appealed it, they let me back on again.
Hey, obviously the bot, gave you a chance. I doubt somebody looked at it. I would assume it was just a bot. So, but that's how people get banned half the time. They don't even say anything bad, and the bot just bans them because you got billions of users. This is what happens when you got billions of users. You can't get any type of actual support from somebody. You know, it's way too big. Only the big wigs get support, you know, the celebrities and so forth.
Yeah, well, here's Stan here. YouTube shadow banned my mates. Were telling me when you searched for you. So, yeah, people can't find me in the searches now from YouTube. It doesn't surprise me. They've been attacking me for a while. I keep getting complaints from people, but yeah, what do you do? There's nothing really you can do about it.
No, that's right. Nothing you can really do.
Yeah, not worth worrying about if you ask me. But yeah, it's a bit of a bugger. You never really get a good leg up before these left wing cretins take a go at you, don't they?
Mate, there's always someone having a go at us somewhere. If it's not the antis, it's other shooters, or you know, there's always someone having a go at us somewhere along the line. Whether it's us or even people in the chat, you know, you have a difference of opinion, and you know.
Oh, here we go. Our friend Mr. Wonderful. These blokes live 1,000 kilometres from Melbourne, well, further for me, and are complaining about the cold weather. Yeah, it got down to I think 2 degrees the other night at my house. I find that quite cold.
Yeah, I mean, it gets colder than that. Like even the heater, it was down to about 4, 5, 6-ish. And that's not too bad, really. Good thermals and a good blanket's totally fine. It's when you start getting to that, you know, zeros, 1 and 2, minus 2. That's when it is pretty cold, and you sort of just can't get comfortable. And doesn't matter what swag or doesn't matter what you've got, you just the cold just comes up through the ground. And that's why I was on a stretcher too in the tent. So I normally use my tent in winter, my swag when it's a little bit warmer, because, you know, again, tents you can get changed in your tent and all that sort of stuff. Whereas a swag, you can't really get changed, man. You got no privacy. You're trying to get changed when you're out of your bloody underwear and you're freezing your tits off. So
That's true. So here's one from Chopper here. Though, as you know, we normally try and bring you 2 to 3 stories a night. So Chopper was asking about the 72-year-old pensioner got charged firearm offences over the news over east. Question mark. Among the charges, he was a bad man because he was storing food and water. Yeah, that is one of the stories we are going to be talking about tonight. About the guy, Jason Meager was just having a good laugh on air about the wording and what they're trying to charge him with. So we will be getting to that story as well. It's going to make you laugh, but yeah, unfortunate. The old guy has been done for it.
Yeah, I know, which is not good. But you got a lot of stories there coming up, and man, it just. Oh well, yeah. I mean, what do you really say these days? I mean, again, we keep saying this stuff, we keep getting shocked, and you know, people. You always get that too. We were talking about that today, I think, when we or sometime, you know, and I posted on my page today. You know, people saying, "Oh, you got to keep status quo." You know, you guys want semi-autos and suppressors and so forth and stuff like that. You know, we've got to maintain what we have, but you know, we haven't maintained what we have. It's just keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Any of these status quo idiots of shooters, I mean. You know, you've got to start waking up to yourself, honestly, because, you know, how are we maintaining status quo? It just gets worse. There's nothing good to speak of here. So, again, you got, you know, they're registering Nerf guns. They're now banning gel blasters in WA. You know, is anyone really surprised? I mean, you know, so when they say maintaining what we have, it's just not happening. And it's a fallacy to think that we're going to maintain what we have.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just not getting any better for us. In fact, wait until next week's show. It's going to be very interesting, guys. Yeah, it's some bad news for next week. We'll be bringing it. We just do a little bit more research this week on it, a few more details, and we'll be bringing you this breaking story. So, unfortunately, yeah, it doesn't look good for some people who own some firearms.
No, it's not going to be that good. And again, just another issue that we have to deal with, where things aren't getting any better at all. It's just, you know, what do we do? Where's, you know, again, you know, I'm going to come back to our representation. What representation? We've got, you know, pro-gun people in Parliament, you know, no results, you know, only a couple really won, you know, maybe some other organisations have, you know, they've got good ideas about what they want to do, but the ones that either got the money or the ones that can afford to push this stuff forward, just, you know, lapdogs of the government. So, you know, what really hope do we have? All they hope is to, you know, maintain status quo. But again, it's not doing that. All they want to do is make money off the back of shooters, which is disappointing.
Yes, exactly. Wilbur says here, the problem is no one stands up. I'll include myself in that. But what it comes down to is two at the end of the day. Yeah, well, we do have the NSC. They do stand up for us and go to court for us, and fight the battles that we can definitely win. They've overturned a lot of gun bans or potential bans. They've overturned a few of those, and they've fought for a lot of shooters. So definitely, the shows tonight is brought to you by the NSC. So definitely go sign up for them. They are a genuine reason for your firearms in Victoria, New South Wales, and Queensland. So if you're unhappy with your useless organisations, jump over to the NSC, because at least you know you can get a genuine reason, and your fees go towards fighting gun bans, where the other ones just seem to sit on their hands or take credit for other people.
At this point, I mean, if you're a member of some of these other organisations, like this is your local clubs, they're not expected to fight. They've got no resources to do that. But any of the ones that do have the money, that aren't fighting, you really have to have a good, long, hard look at yourself if you're still a member of these organisations. Fair enough. Like, if you're still a member and you've still got a current membership, that's fine. But if you're actively going out of your way to join some of these clubs, knowing full well the things that they're doing and not fighting for shooters, well, again, you're just part of the problem. It's only going to get worse, and that's going to be the downfall of shooters. Joining the easy one because they might have a range in the local area, or they're offering some type of membership perk that you need, and say, well, they've got a membership perk, so I'll join them. Well, you're only screwing yourself out of your own sport. So if that's what you want to do, then continue doing that. But at least give the other ones, I'm not saying other organisations the be all and end all either, but at least they can have a go and at least give it a try. Compared to some, I mean, there's nothing at all, just kowtowing to government. I mean, how's kowtowing to government going to, help shooters at the end of the day? Like, I keep saying this, people laugh, but at the trajectory we're going, I give it 10 to 15 and you'll no longer have guns in Australia. 10 to 15 years, and that'll probably be that'll be the end of it. I mean, I know we've spoken about it. Some people disagree, but if it gets to that long, I would be highly surprised. And it only be at the whims of, again, you have to join a club, shoot at a range, probably very limited to no hunting, stuff like that. This is what's going to happen if we don't start acting and start using some of our resources to start pushing back.
Yeah, and some of these organisations just have to stand up and stop bowing down to the government and the police and rolling over. They got a lot of clout. They needed to stand up. And a lot of these politicians who say they're pro-gun, who do absolutely nothing for us, apart from when it comes to election time, they just make a little bit of a promise, and then the gullible people go, oh, I'll vote for them because they promise they're going to do this. And then, once again, 4 years of silence.
Yeah, no, exactly. I was just looking. Here we go. I'm not going to mention who it is or anything, but here we go. I just got an email for a magazine. So it says, stronger together, the industry unites, right? Feature the biggest e-petition in New South Wales history. Again, are these people absolutely taking the piss out of shooters or what? I mean, e-petitions, saying e-petitions work. I mean, it just beggars belief how they can sit there, flap a few pictures. Yeah, everyone's looking at a piece of paper. Everybody's smiling, But again, a lot of people smiling, a lot of paperwork, everyone, shaking hands, but not much doing. This is the whole problem. It's all about looking good, isn't it? Get me back into Parliament. Get me into this organisational spot. I'll change things. Well, mate, none of them have done anything, And again, to spout e-petitions as some sort of big win for shooters, what a big fat joke. These people should be embarrassed, man. Absolutely embarrassed to actually put this into an email to people. It beggars belief. And, people said before, you guys get a bit negative. We're just sick to death, mate. We've been doing this for 10 years. Shit or get off the pot pretty much. I mean, there's no, stop putting e-petitions in our face going, these are awesome. They government and the police and the politicians laugh at these petitions. They think it's a joke, and it is a joke. And I laugh at them too because they are a joke. They don't do anything. Start taking some sort of legal action. Start, flexing a bit of muscle.
Yeah, I've stopped even advertising these stupid e-petitions and that come up. I get probably a couple across my desk a week, and just won't support them at all anymore. They just don't do anything. It's just
actually crowing about e-petitions. I mean, it's But again, the average shooter, you guys in the stream, obviously, you don't fall for this type of stuff. You're active in the industry. You're watching these types of live streams and so forth, right? It's the average shooter that has no interest in this political spectrum. They just want to own a gun. They're the ones you've got to talk to. All the people in the chat, you've got to talk to your friends and say, only join the organizations that you know are out there. Not what's easy, not what membership perk they're offering, and selling yourself out and selling shooters out at the same time. Again, if you just keep joining the same clubs that are doing nothing, well, you're part of the problem. So,
yeah, this whole insurance crap, man. I just paid my insurance the other day, and they're part for all my guns for basically double the insurance that other people in the industry are offering. I got it for half the price. So you do your legwork and get around the insurance companies yourself, and you'll be very, very surprised. But I want to thank, before we go any further, Matt. Useless organisations. I agree with you, boys. Thank you very much, Matt, for the $5, and our good friend Chris Miller, who don't know if he's in Victoria. The lockdown over my cold dead hands are going to get mine.
I mean, look at what's happening, as you know, in Victoria. You'll know this one we spoke about the other day. I mean, they're trying to, again, Medic and Ratnam and all those for the Greens and Andy Medic and what was that, Fiona Patton. She actually follows me on Twitter. I don't know why, but anyway, I don't follow her. But anyway, they voted for the lockdown laws. So now Andrews they're secretly behind closed doors trying to put in these, permanent pandemic laws in place, and they'll probably get support. And something so huge, what are they offering in return? What are they going to give Andy Medic? I mean, look at Andy Medic, for God's sake. The guy's been in 2 years, and look at basically what he's been able to do and hold to ransom within the government.
Damage.
Yeah, the damage. Our political parties, our pro-gun parties can't do fucking diddly squat. They can't. They got no power. Yeah, they can't make any agreements. They can't do anything. It's why are you there sucking off hundreds of thousands of dollars to achieve nothing? It, again, makes no sense to me whatsoever. Listen, they're trying all the best, but trying is not doing.
Yeah, exactly. Another thing that we talk about is some of these wholesalers, not all of them, some of them, who claim they are helping shooters and all this, but they got no proof. They don't talk about it. It's sort of just like, working behind the scenes sort of stuff. They don't tell anyone. If these wholesalers really are going out of their way and helping and going to court and doing all this stuff that I hear from the industry every single week, if they're doing that, why not advertise? Hey, we're doing this to help you guys out. Man, you think people will flood to your product? Go, hey, I'll go buy this gun because these guys are fighting for shooters. I'll buy their products. Wouldn't you?
Yeah. And, again, it started with these gel blasters. Then we had SA, people going in and registering Nerf guns. If this is not alarming you, then I don't know what else I can say. We just haven't been getting through to people. I just, and JR says here, he goes, I try, Jason. Most of them either don't listen or believe me. Well, then, yeah, they're just too stupid to believe you. Then they deserve what's coming to them, which most likely will be the taking of their guns, and there's nothing we're going to be able to do about it. So, hopefully these JR's friends or people that he knows, can hopefully wake up one day and realize, you've got to start doing something, start supporting the organizations, or at least trying. Is that going to be the only option? Is that going to be our, golden goose or golden egg? Maybe not, but we've got to try at least, surely, right? I mean, other than that, we've got no power, and we'll just keep, the cops will just keep taking the piss out of us, and like they're doing in WA, South Australia, what we're going to be talking about next week, it's just getting worse.
Yeah, and Aaron Johnson's got it right. What pro-gun parties? Exactly. What are they? We don't know of any, do we? I don't know of one pro-gun party.
I mean, again, most of the pro-gun ones don't think the way we do. We just want, normal laws like they do in other countries, like that can, people can have these types of firearms laws, in the law-abiding people's hands. No problem. You go to New Zealand, they've got suppressors. Sure, they had a ban too. But again, you always got to be on the front foot, always got to be on the front foot fighting, because if you're not, you get complacent, which I think New Zealand somewhat did get complacent with their shooting. They had 20 years to prepare to think they were never going to be, attacked or something. Was probably a little bit naive of them, to be brutally honest. I mean, Epic Flyer said a lot of people didn't like Fraser Ranning, but he was pro-gun. Yeah, I mean, I interviewed the guy. I spoke to him before and after the show. Really, actually, I've got to be honest, really nice fella. Just because the media says he's an arsehole, I spoke to him, and very well-spoken, very kind man. And we spoke at great length before and after the show and during the show. So if you haven't listened to that show with Fraser Ranning, yeah, jump on the podcast, just type in AHP Fraser Ranning and it will come up. And yeah, nice guy.
And here's something a bit funny, Jason. The Three Stooges. I'm assuming he's meaning that funny video that we sometimes play that someone made about I won't say who they are, a certain shooting
Oh, yeah. I've seen
party.
it,
Yeah.
yeah.
And they're putting their foot in their mouth. So
I mean,
it means that.
I just don't understand how agreeing with the antis is some sort of political strategy moving forward, saying these guns, should be banned. So why am I actually voting for you then? Why am I voting for a Nationals 2.0? I don't want to vote for a Nationals 2.0. I want a strong pro-gun party. And this is what I keep saying to people, that it's time that, the old school, handing the mantle over to some other hunter to go into politics, man, those times are over. We need people that are actually can get on radio, can get on TV, can actually make the point without agreeing to stupid ideas like, it's good that semi-autos were banned, or it's good we don't have suppressors, or you wouldn't want these types of guns in circulation, would you? We need smart people, and I hate to say it, actually political lobbyists that love guns, that know what they're talking about and can make the case.
Yep, exactly. But is it going to really happen? No, I don't think so. I really don't.
And see, people even here say, well, who is Andy Medic? I mean, from Epic Flyer. He's the Animal Justice Party guy from Victoria that got elected 2 years ago into the Parliament of Victoria. And look at all the shit he's been able to do, man. So, again, it never seems to go our way. And when it does go our way, like it did in New South Wales in about 2014, it was an own goal. We totally screwed it up. With Barry O'Farrell. And we got nothing for selling off all the ports, some $12 billion worth of assets, and we got absolutely nothing. Not only did we get nothing, we got a 12-month state forest hunting ban in New South Wales for our troubles. So again, you only get these opportunities once in 20 years, 25, 30 years. You got to make it count. You have to make it count.
Exactly. And there's Jace go fast. Too many sellouts in the gun industry. As soon as they get a government contract, they forget all about the average Joe. Yep, and we all have seen that time and time again. But you know who's not a sellout in the industry? And that is another sponsor that signed up last week for this show. I would say importers. They import some of the best guns that we have actually shot, haven't we, Jason? And some great ammunition like Hornady, Sierra projectiles. We all use that. They do. You can get their magazine as well from your gun shop, which is free. And it goes through a few of their products. And I use the Sours, the Mausers. We both have Zeiss scopes that we absolutely love. And what else they do here? They do the Ridgeline, of course, which is great hunting gear. Both Jason and me have tried that and used that. In fact, I got a review on the Ridgeline clothing. So big thank you to OSA importers for sponsoring tonight's show as well as the NSC. Really, really appreciate it.
Very good. Always good to see more people coming in. I don't think we've read out people's names, have we? Should we do that before we get into
just got a couple of super chats I'll bring up before I lose them. So, man, the comments, we're already up to almost 400 comments tonight. And I'd like to thank JR. Hey, Aaron, I see you love the Ruger M77. Well, that's a funny one because the one I reviewed fell apart, but the M77 I used to use the stainless steel with the paddle handle in 223 was a complete tack driver. But this one, not so much. It really didn't work when it fell apart on me. So, yeah, that's good and bad. The M77 22 is an absolute tack driver. That's if you can ever find a stainless steel with a paddle. When you do, they're worth a fortune. Thank you to Matt for the $4. Really appreciate it. And our friend Chris Miller, who one day we're going down to eat all his food, drink all his beer, and shoot all his deer. One day. I lost all my firearms in a boating accident. Jokes, Colin Law t-shirts. Well, you don't have any water near you, Chris. Unless they fell into your dam.
So you won't need any water anyway, so.
Yeah, exactly. And we got one more if I can find. There we go from Jacker. Can't stay long. Hope you have a good stream. Thank you very much, Jacker. And look at that. He's holding a very scary Nerf gun, which is registered in New South Wales. Oh,
yeah,
and one
the
more.
evil Nerf guns. The evil. I'm surprised New South Wales is not. They're probably not. Again, we'll talk about what's happening next week. Next week, but again, you probably won't be surprised. But yeah, it's definitely not good news. Put it that way, guys. Definitely not good news.
And I haven't told Jason yet, but it's going to get really bad for the entire country, every single state for shooters. There's some more information that came through tonight as well. Thank you very much, Alex, for the $30 for the ammo fund. Really do appreciate that. Guys, we'll always try and read your comments out if you give us a super chat and support the channel. Jason and me really do appreciate it. So do your runoff, Jace. Let's see who is in the stream.
All right, yeah. So we got Andy. He just popped up literally right as I post. Andy 1234777, aka Daniel Andrews. He's back this month, so he's back to ruin Victoria. So get ready for the big whirlwind that is Daniel Andrews. Chris Miller, of course. We've got Farmer Dave, Kieran 1999, Chris Legendary, Peter Sadout. We've got JR, of course. I think I mentioned Chris Miller. Obviously, we brought him up as well. Colin Penfold, another regular. Aaron Johnson and Salty. We've got RG. We've got Mr. Wonderful, Epic Flyer, Game Shot, Sal77, Sundowner Joe. I haven't seen Sundowner before. Sorry if you've been in the stream. Jacker1, Fox860, Matt Cato, Phantom HD. Mr. John Boy, 1965. I haven't seen him before. Acme Firearms, National Shooting Council, Paulo 84, Liam Cumbo, Front Toward Enemy, Rob's Woodworking, of course, another regular. Who else we got here? ART 0540 or Arto 540, maybe if that's correct. Harps 666, of course, another regular. Epic Fly, as we said. Jeff Sams, Jace Go Fast. I like that one. Mr. 3030. We've also got Skin. Is it Skin Ski 7? Always got these funny names. The Bush Ranger Brotherhood of Victoria. I like that name. Welcome to the stream. Cliff Lee. We've also got Wilbur, Peter Robertson, Aaron Johnson. I'm not sure if I mentioned Aaron before. Ram 2. We've also got Nick Blackwell. We've got Adam Basham. We've got, who else we got? Game Shot, already mentioned him. Thomas Wackaroo. Wackaroo? I'm going to go Wackaroo. I reckon it's Wackaroo. Hopefully I got that right. Let us know, Thomas Wackaroo, if I've actually got that correct. Bagara HMR operator, again, another regular in our stream. Matt Cato, Alex Lopez, or Lopez, sorry if I haven't got it right. Redneck Rumbler. I really like that one. West Covina Dodge. Yeah, I think I've got that right. West Covina Dodge. We've got CRE. Shit, all right. Creve, something the Greater. Crevo the Greater. Have I got that right? Crevo the Greater. Maybe that sounds good. Nick Taylor. We've also got Matt 1976. Yeah, and Mr. Wonderful. So welcome everyone to the chat. Good to everyone here. I'd like to give you a shout out because, you spend your time in here with us every week. So it's only fair.
Yeah, a couple of new guys here as well. Farmer Dave, Sundowner Joe, Nick Blackwell, and Game Shot. Haven't seen you guys before. If you have been here, I'm very sorry, but we do get a lot of comments. We're pushing 500 comments now already, so it's just amazing. So we'll jump in. We'll jump in our first story, not the main story, but this one. Yeah, we'll start off with something. It's not funny for the old guy, but it's just mate. Okay, both these stories tonight come from Western Australia. So here we go. This is the poor old 72-year-old guy who's a bit of a prepper. The Western Australian police don't like that because he wants to be self-supported, I guess. But we'll bring this up. And got to try to figure out how to take this comment down so you guys can see it. Yeah, it's a bit of an odd one. Perth Doomsday Prepper arrested with small arsenal of guns and ammo in suburban back shed. So police seized a small arsenal of firearms and thousands of rounds of ammunition from a back shed. Wait till you see what the thousands of rounds are. A 72-year-old man has been accused of gathering munitions at his Wilton property along with tinned food. Oh, Jesus. And water. Oh, no.
Hey, let me say one thing. I want to say one thing. Looking at the top there, it looks like an air rifle, but I haven't read this thing. The top left there, the guy holding it with the tattoo with the short sleeves.
Yeah.
it looks like an air rifle to me, but I could be wrong. But anyway, I'm only looking from that angle. But yeah, scroll down. I want to see what
and
we've
that's
actually
like
got.
I don't know what that one is. Yeah.
Anyway,
Also facing charges over possessing the blueprints and material to manufacture weapons and ammunition, including a World War II era submachine gun. Well, you can find those anywhere on the internet. That is there. Doesn't make you a criminal because you're just looking at how things work. It's just people being interested, if you ask me. Among about 5,000 rounds of ammunition seized, and some military-grade 50 cal rounds. So as we know, military-grade rounds are just the lowest bidder made them, so not like they're actually going to be good. They are just full metal jacket, nothing major there. Acting Inspector Doug, not from Australia, said the man was surprised when police raided his property on Wednesday, but was compliant. Of course, he's a poor 72-year-old man who's doing no harm. Of course, he was compliant. He's not a danger. He said investigations were ongoing at this stage, but believed the weapons were for his own use. Yep, and then it goes down. That shows how to make a gun. It's like a little book. I've seen these sort of books in actual gun shops. Actually, it's just like not how to make them. They're just like schematics. So you can actually buy these books in gun shops I've seen around over the years, holding some very tame rifles and two serious-looking numbnuts. Okay, so ammunition. 1,400 rounds of 9mm. Yep, that's not much. 1,300 rounds of spent 9mm. Well, my understanding in Western Australia...
So what's that, brass? Is that brass?
Yeah, brass, yeah. So brass, I'm pretty sure in Western Australia is classed as ammunition. So you've got to lock your brass up. This gets better, guys. Just bear with us. 672 rounds of 303. 100 rounds of spent 303. 16 rounds of 303 blank firing. Yeah, they can do a lot of damage at point blank on a piece of bread. 108 rounds of live 12 gauge. This guy's an amateur for his ammo collection, isn't it? Only 108 rounds.
12 gauge. I mean, you think it's just a slab's 250, so it's not that much.
Yeah, exactly. 12 rounds of live 222. 136 live rounds of 223, which is nothing, only a few boxes. 921 rounds of 223 brass. Jeez, that's a danger. 6 rounds of live 4440. One round of 455. And 33 rounds of live 50 caliber. Tools and equipment, reloading gear, a progressive press with a 9mm reloading gear in it. It just goes on, head primers, gunpowder, everything that you're allowed to have, but apparently he's in trouble for. Others, this is the good stuff. 3 unlicensed rifles in various form, probably broken, falling apart from his younger years. Probably forgotten about. That's what we hear, don't we, Jason? Like old guys have these rifles just shoved in the back of a cupboard or a barn that don't even work from back in the day. 9 licensed firearms, so no problem there. Barrel rifling buttons for a couple of calibers here, which I don't think that's against the law to own that sort of stuff. It's just engineering gear, I think. I could be wrong. Barrel chaining reamers. Go and no-go gauges, which you can buy from gun shops just to make sure your chamber's all right when you buy an older gun. Parts for an Owens submachine gun. Now, I'd like to know what they call parts for an Owens machine gun. And here's the good one. Metal tubes, barrel blanks to a 45 caliber barrel. So he had some metal tubes from Bunnings, probably. So what a joke, eh?
Yeah, I mean... Look at the way that this is why you should instantly defund the ABC. Under a Jason Republic, right, or a Jason Prime Ministership, I would instantly remove the ABC. Zero funding. Take the infrastructure, do whatever you got to do. We're going to give you the infrastructure. We're going to give you the buildings. Do whatever you want, but you're going to get not one red cent again from the government. I mean, look at Doomsday Prep. But the journalistic standards really are in the toilet in 2020. That's what I tell people. I said, if you're, and as you know, follow independent media, people like us, other people out there. Follow independent people, pay them, because that's where the good journalistic standard generally comes from. People that ask the questions, like what's happening in Victoria with the lockdowns. Yeah, you'd never trust Channel 9, 7, ABC, Yahoo News. It's all just crap, clickbait crap, with no actual substance. Sydney Morning Herald, The Age, Guardian, they're all the same. That's why I tell people never, ever join up on one of their memberships, as in their $3 a week or whatever it is, to join their, Sydney Morning Herald. Just don't do it. Let them rot in hell. I mean, they basically realized they were losing money when they had to beg Facebook to pay them for their news content. I mean, I was so happy when they got banned and thought, oh, finally, Facebook actually did something right and got some balls.
Yeah, exactly. So here's the 50 cal rounds that seem to have been under lock and key, for God's sake. But what I'm really concerned about is hoarding, absolutely hoarding all that water and canned goods. That crap is what us bachelors live on, is canned goods, and he's hoarding it all.
Yeah. What do you eat? Spam, do you? You a bit of a spam? I eat spam when I go hunting, man. Spam and eggs on a roll. Mate,
you're the one who
mayo. Beautiful, mate. Beautiful.
You're the one who keeps cooking us spam every time we go on a hunting trip. Spam on the barbecue. Oh, that's when you're not throwing our sausages in the fire.
That was an accident. But seriously, man, spam, eggs on a roll, bit of Kewpie mayonnaise, maybe a bit of chili sauce. Beautiful.
Sweet chili sauce is awesome on it, on spam.
Get some sweet chili. But look how they're parading this stuff. Like, this is the journalistic integrity we're dealing with in 2021. I mean, just absolutely poor doomsday prep. I mean, that's what they think. They think like 1,400 rounds. I mean, you might have been a competitive pistol shooter. We don't know. I mean, I know you're a competitive pistol shooter. You punched out a fair few there at one stage.
Well, yeah, it's nothing to go through. When I was doing all the contests, I was going through like 1,000 odd rounds a week. You know that book? You buy those in any gun shop. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not telling you how to make them. You buy them for every single sort of thing. Yeah, I think I've got one for a 303 and a 45 ACP. It's like crude drawings from back in the day, and just tells you how the gun works and a bit of history on it.
Colin Penfold says he hoards tin pineapples. Jeff Sam, I'll read a few of these. Jeff Sam said he loves Spam, but he guess I'm pretty gangster too. Mr. Wonderful, deep fried Spam is kind of nice. Yeah, I mean, hey, maybe that's a thing. A lot of people, that's what, like, a lot of guys like to go in the field. Maybe we should do a thing one time. We'll talk about it towards the end. What's your go-to camp meals? I always love finding out what you guys are, like prepare when you're out in the field. Do you pre-prepare meals? Do you have those sort of backcountry dry meals? What do you do? But we'll do that at the end. We'll get on to some other stuff. We'll maybe spend 5 minutes on it at the end.
Our friend Peter here. Aaron, did you get your 303 PPU from Browns Plains? Yes, I did. Peter was very kind to donate some ammunition to the show. I actually sent you a message saying I did, and thank you. I don't know if you got the email, but I sent an email to you, Peter. But thank you very much for that, guys. You guys are very, really generous. I was in at the gun shop once and talking to a guy, and he just chucked up an entire crate of 223 in my hands and said, "That's for you, 500 rounds."
Wow, what a nice guy.
Oh, yeah. The Shooting Stuff Australia community and the AHP community on here tonight, who are here every week, are the greatest guys there are in shooting. All you guys are just awesome. We're very humble about everything you do and coming back each week. You guys are absolutely tops for us.
Yeah, exactly. And we love, bringing these live streams and, getting some, I love, hey, like all of yous, I wish it was, something good. One day I can wake up and, we're like New Zealand. They're going to allow us to have suppressors. That'd probably be my number one, I think, right now. That and get rid of appearance laws, but as probably something that would make the biggest dent right now and help a lot of shooters, especially around range noise, hunting on private properties. I think definitely probably would be suppressors. I think probably a lot of people would probably agree with that. And then probably maybe these garbage appearance laws and all these bans on, gel blasters and all that crap would be probably, close second. I'm sure there's other things. Self-defense would be up there for me. I know it'd be up there for you as well. Minimum in the home, self-defense. But, again, police don't want you to defend yourself. They just want to have all the guns. When they bought, how many they buy in Victoria? All these semi-autos telling us everything's fine. Just call us while they're arming themselves to the teeth. Unbelievable.
How much was that? $26 million for what? 100 guns or something?
Yeah, they bought a bunch of gloves and knee pads and all this other crap, and they still can't. I think that Bev, is it MacArthur? I can't remember. Bev MacArthur, is it, from Victoria? She's been asking some hard questions, but again, it's always good to have more people in your corner. But again, I like we always say, it's better to have good people saying the right things. But sometimes we're going to turn that into some results, man. Some results, some actual legislative changes.
Yeah, exactly. And here's Megan. Someone after my heart. I'll be in for camping as long as we stock up on Jack Daniels for the cold, obviously. And yes, exactly. Tonight I am enjoying a bit of green label Jack Daniels.
Yeah. Wonder why you sounded a bit funny.
Ooh, salty. Yeah, so guys, what do you think of that? Are you guys preppers? I shoot with a few people who are preppers, and especially when I actually had a really nice couple of ladies who were big time preppers when I used to shoot major competitions all the time, and they were fantastic people. But they used to store rice in bulk and all that sort of stuff just in case the Chinese attacked us. Pretty much, I guess we all got to go underground.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I don't do that. I mean, I got some canned goods and shit, but I'm too lazy to bother with that sort of shit. If it goes to shit, well, what do you do, man? Just hope for the best,
Yeah, my neighbours have got lots of food. I'll just go get theirs.
Just go raid their house. House. I mean, if it's pretty much like the Purge and it's every man for himself, I mean, what would you do? We should have a laugh one time and do, like, if the Purge happened, what would you? Actually, we should do it now. Like, let us know, what would you do? Would you head for the country? Would you head for, where would you go? Would you jump on top of the roof of your house when the zombies are coming and hope for the best? What would you do? Let us know. I'd love to find out what you guys would do.
Well, here's a funny story, Jason. Years ago, when I used to live on the Gold Coast, had a really nice property on one of the rivers down at Broadbeach, and my flatmate, he was a prepper. I mean, old school prepper, as in super paranoid prepper. Sat on the couch, smoked dope all day, and delivered donuts at night for like 7-Eleven. So his hobby was, in the weekend, he would spend his entire paycheck on canned goods. And he found a cave up in Mount Tambourine behind the Gold Coast, and he was stocking up and filling this cave full of canned goods. This was 20 years ago. I don't know if he's still doing it or he's even alive. But he had canned goods, and he'd buy just masses of canned goods and take them up to this cave on Mount Tambourine because he was determined a tsunami was going to come and wipe everyone out, and Mount Tambourine is the only place and within earshot that you're going to survive, and he's going to be the only one still being alive, living in a cave on canned goods. So that's that was basically one of the major preppers I used to know.
Yeah. Pranic Megan says, I'm already out bush, well away from the city zombies. Mr. Wonderful said, my neighbour's got like 400 goats. He's laughing. Unless they turn into zombie goats, then you've got a whole different kettle of fish out there, Mr. Wonderful. I'll just have a look here. Someone says they're not going to tell me where they're going to because they don't want to the purge or the zombies. People said, hey, let's say both. Let's say people are purging and the zombies. I mean, it's all going to be one, isn't it? Be every man for. I mean, it's full. Look at what's happening just in Victoria when society starts breaking down. People start doing some crazy shit. So, if the real shit hit the fan, what would happen? So,
yeah, well, we're going to be shit out of luck to get our toilet paper, aren't we? If the Wu flu has taught us anything.
Yeah, crazy. Anyway, what do you do? There's a lot of people saying prepping is filling my shopping trolley. That's a good one. Yeah, I mean.
Well, I always try and have 3 weeks worth of food. It's getting a bit sparse by the end of the 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Potato chips and beer are getting down a bit.
Mate, that was one thing you'd have to worry about. Bernard Newman says, gentlemen, let's face it, the world is not real stable at the moment. Australia, yeah, exactly. I mean, again, I just wonder why Australians are so complacent, man. Why? Like what's happening in Victoria. It's like everyone just doesn't want to do anything. Stay home, scared of the government. Listen, I get it. We can't do it because we're gun owners. We can't get amongst it. Like we shouldn't do that. But again, what happened to the spirit of Australians? We would never. I mean, can you imagine how people that ran up beaches and got shot for the shit that Daniel Andrews is doing to people in Victoria right now. It's just, they'd be rolling over in their grave, these bastards. They really would. All the good work, and they gave their lives for this embarrassing creature that is Daniel Andrews.
Oh, yeah. Oh, pretty much the entire government and everyone in it. Bushranger Brotherhood of Victoria. Hey, lads, thanks for the video. I'd like to chat about sponsoring a video. Well, hit me up on probably Instagram or my email. Links in the description, and we shall talk. I'd really appreciate that. And thank you for the $15. That is very nice of you. Hit us up, and we'll talk business. And we have Peter, our friend Peter. What are your zombie guns from your collection then? Oh, I'd say everything.
Now, this is all for fun, just for the authorities watching. This is all for fun. Obviously, this is a joke, so let's, just make sure everyone's on the same page here. We're not actually saying do anything illegal. This is a bit of fun. We're just talking in jest here.
Okay, I would say my Ruger PC9 because it's light and easy to carry. My Ruger Charger 22 can carry lots of ammo for it. My Navy SEALs actually SIG P226 and my SIG Sauer 320. And for a long rifle, at this stage, because my I don't have a stock for my 300 rum yet, and I don't have the PRC because that's just a shotgun right now. Probably be the Ruger Precision Rifle in 308 because I can get about 100 mil groups at a kilometre with that.
People don't realise. I mean, people say shotgun, but it just gets too heavy to carry enough rounds. I reckon around 22. I reckon just a 22 of some description. Probably be pretty good. Andy 1234777, aka Daniel Andrews, says, "Guys, please lay off me. I'm not feeling safe. I'm doing my best." Listen, it's only lucky that he should have hurt himself more. To be honest, I mean, I love to say that because I'm not that type of guy to wish people down. But when you killed 800 plus people, mate, you deserve bad karma. I mean, to the point where how his kids and his wife don't think, "Fuck, this guy is just an embarrassment to be married to and have as a dad." I mean, it's beggars belief. But anyway, what else we got here? You think you got liar?
There you go. Read that one out, Jace.
During a zombie apocalypse, when there's 90% of the world population is dead, weapons branch would still be knocking on your door.
That is good. That is good.
That'll be the comment of the night, Epic Flyer. Definitely, they'll be knocking on your door. There'll be an ABC News article. Doomsday prepper. Even though the zombies have attacked and we're all gone, Doomsday prepper caught with 1,900 rounds of 9mm.
Or guns confiscated in zombie apocalypse. Live round found on the ground.
Hey, listen, we laugh at that, but I reckon it would happen. It would, guns confiscated. Zombies attack. Registry confiscates guns from all shooters. I mean, it'd be hilarious, wouldn't it? But you can imagine it happening. I mean, we've registered Nerf guns. We'd have to be checking in with the gunshots before we did anything. It's so funny, eh?
Zombies' lives matter.
Yeah, and ART says 0540. It's completely effing retarded that you actually have to disclose that this is a joke. Yeah, well, mate, you do these days, obviously, because you never know who's watching. Authorities, people take you seriously. A lot of stupid people out there, not just from the shooting community, but from the general community. And then police, look, we register Nerf guns. So, I mean, the stupidity is just, it's Twilight Zone level now. Like we've just, that meter is just pinging. Like epic craziness. That's how bad things have gotten right now. So, New South Wales Registry confiscates guns during zombie apocalypse. You don't leave people defenseless.
Yeah, exactly. Well, as we both know, we know who's watching this show, so we do have to be a little bit careful.
Yeah. Always do the right thing, guys. Follow the law as instructed until at such stage we can change it. That's what we want to do.
You can at least have a joke. Well, I don't think we've lost that ability yet, have we?
I don't know, man. They don't like certain media in Victoria, so like people going out reporting on what Andrews is doing and they're copying a bollocking. So you wouldn't think it was possible, but in 2021, anything is possible.
Exactly. Sterren, our good friend, I hope We've got to find out. I'll give him a call about his court case coming up.
You'd probably find that registries would turn into zombies and still be demanding our guns back.
Yeah, exactly. A motor vehicle registry full of zombies. Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I think you had to go down and get a trailer registered, and it was just like, yeah, it wasn't quite right down there.
Yeah, Aaron Johnson said, where was it? There it is. Newsflash, jokes are illegal. Yeah, well, you can't even have a laugh these days. I guess at least Australians haven't lost their sense of humour. They might be lazy and complacent, but at least they've probably still got a sense of humour,
I can tell you something that is illegal, and that's sharing someone else's post on Facebook.
Yes, exactly. Don't share posts on Facebook that you can't. Yeah, we can't share the validity of. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's a whole different kettle of fish. But anyway, what's the next article, man? Any more articles there?
Yes, yes. We'll get to the main event now. Now, this is getting a lot of traction on Facebook, big time, and the cops are absolutely getting shredded over this. And this is the biggest joke there is, absolute biggest joke. So this is jail blast. Sorry, it's a bit small here, but I've got no idea how to make it any bigger. Jail blasters in WA. Jail blasters will be outlawed in Western Australia from July 3rd, following a spike in incidences involving their misuse. Police say they have several instances in which the blasters, which are made to shoot water-filled pellets, have been mistaken for real ones, triggering significant police response. It has also been revealed that criminal groups are importing the blasters and modifying them into workable firearms. We'll get into that.
Right.
The state government will offer an amnesty. Fuck the amnesty. These people have brought them with their own money. You give them their money back. They bought that legally. You don't fuck them over. If you want to ban a toy gun, you give them their toy. You give them the money back for that toy gun. You just don't take their shit because one day you just decide you can't have it. That is petty.
But see, let me say one thing. It makes no sense because they said following a spike in incidents involving misuse. I mean, again, in criminal hands, all firearms, it's like anything out there, like drugs, these industries, there will be misuse of everything. I mean, that just happens in the financial sector, ripping people off, guns, drugs, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, that makes, again, they probably are doing this. And this is why I say that the 10 to 15-year term to remove guns from society in Australia, right? It says following a spike in incidents involving their misuse, yet normal firearms get misused. So then why is the gel blaster only being targeted? But you wouldn't be surprised if WA are planning at some stage to ban all firearms, because if that's the case, if everything gets misused, the knife, why aren't knives banned? I mean, everything has a potential to get misused. Baseball bats, tools,
you name it.
Anything, vehicles, bombs, people making fertilizer bombs, you name it, these can all be misused, but they're not banned because, again, this paranoia from WA police, like absolute crazy low IQ paranoia.
Yep. And once the ban comes into effect, the penalty for anyone found in possession of a gel blaster could be up to 3 years in prison or fined $36,000.
For a plastic toy. I can see this going viral again. It's going to be overseas, just like it was a couple of weeks ago. We're going to be in Brazil, El Salvador, all these countries writing up these ridiculous, media stories about how stupid we are and stuff like that. But again, just seems like, WA police obviously just don't care about their reputation. And, again, it's not just us in the shooting community, guys. Go and have a look at the comments on Facebook on their page talking about the ban. I mean, just regular Joes are absolutely shredding. I'm sure you get the odd one that goes, oh, good job. The bootlickers, of course. The bootlickers will always bootlick the government and the police's feet. So, there's not really much you can do about that because they're stupid. They don't have a brain big enough to comprehend what's happening. But at the end of the day, again, they're just getting shredded in the comments over a toy. And they deserve every part of it when you're going to ban a toy. I don't know why you would ban a toy. It makes no sense whatsoever. Little kids having fun out the front yard, pow, pow, having a little, cops and robbers and all that sort of stuff like we did back in the day.
Well, Acme Firearms actually did a little video. It edited up the half-an-hour press conference where they try and justify their stupidity, and he edited it up, and Yeah, it was a bit of an absolute joke what they're saying. You go to his his Facebook page, Acme Firearms, and have a look at what he edited some of the catchphrases together. Of course, guess what came up? This is for public safety.
Oh, yeah, it's always the same thing. So you can only have 50 cow, well, maybe, they shoot 50 cows because there's a couple of guys there that have got them on the range. The same in New South Wales, but you can't own a toy. Just the logic and reasoning. Again, no wonder why we're the butt of all jokes across the world. And Harps 666 makes a good point. He says it's all a bluff. Take them to court. We'll be thrown out. They're just gel blasters for F's sake. Well, that's the thing, man. Who's going to do that? Who's got the money? Which big organisation or organisations in general? I mean, the NSC can't fight every single battle that's popping up. I mean, they just can't. It's just not feasible.
Well, I did talk to the NSC today, and they are on board with the Gel Blaster Association, I think it is. They're going to go forward and fight this for gel blasters, even though they're not firearms. So they go forward because they don't like seeing their people's freedoms taken away. For God's sake,
I mean, anyone that's watching what the NSC does and bagging it are just complete clowns. I mean, I've just got to be honest about that. I mean, at least they're having a crack, whether it's at a tribunal, whether it's in court, whether what's happening, at least they're having a crack. I mean, again, no one else is doing anything about it. This goes back to what we were talking about a bit earlier. You'd be just mad to join any of these other organisations that take your money and do sweet FA. I mean, but then again, the NSC can't fight every single battle. It's just not feasible. It really is just not feasible. So, again, let your feet do the walking. Get your friends into shooting. Tell them not to join these big organizations, the ones that aren't spending our money wisely or wasting it on frivolous crap that we just don't care about. We want people that are in there, going hard at the government and the police saying, nah, we're not going to stand for this. This is how it's going to be. We're going to win. Sometimes we're going to lose a lot. But at the end of the day, I'm sure you guys sitting there listening to this live stream would rather, an organization have a go than be piss weak and just sit back and use our money for frivolous shit that we just don't care about.
No, exactly. So we'll thank you to Matt. The rest of the world can have airsoft and we can't have a gel blaster. Exactly. Absolute joke. You know who makes these gel blasters? China. And China, you can't have guns, but in China, you can have gel blasters. So,
yeah, I know. We're slowly losing.
We're worse than a communist country.
I mean, when's it going to change, guys? I don't know. You tell us. I mean, give us something positive in the comments to think about. What hope do we have in the future? Put some positive comments down there and we'll read some out.
Funny thing is, thank you very much, Phantom, and thank you, Matt, for your super chat. Funny thing is, you have to look at the police officers holding the gel blasters like they're thinking they're soldiers of fortune. Exactly. And here we go, Jace. Here we go. I'll just...
Yeah, no, it's all about ego, guys. It's all about ego, isn't it? It's just doing the right thing.
Yep, exactly. So here they are here. We won't play the thing, but here's the guy just carrying on
what's happening
about it. I think he's a minister of something, and this guy is just some head cop.
It is playing. Just pause it. It is playing.
Oh, okay. So I can't hear the volume on this end.
Sorry.
Yeah, so this is the press conference they had. Apparently, this guy has seen battle in the military, and he can't distinguish against a plastic toy gun and a real gun, even though he's meant to be. I don't know. From what I can make out, he's a hardened soldier. That's what he makes himself.
How can you stand there and just like hold a straight face? That's the part that just gets me. That they must know this is very disingenuous. Surely they'd have to know this is extremely disingenuous, and they think people are stupid. They think guys on this stream, they think you're stupid. They think you're so dumb to swallow this stuff up. Even the general public, who generally is dumb when it comes to firearms, weren't even swallowing this up. So again, it beggars belief who or where this is coming from, because what more do you say? You just have to laugh and say this is the worst stuff I've ever seen come out of the police services, probably in 20 years.
Well, these two guys here. Imagine this. This is your entire career, right, Jason? This is what it's come down to, of banning toy guns. This is the extent of you're going to have to go home. These Muppets are going to have to go home and tell their wives, I had a good day today. I banned some children's toys. And their wives will look at them going, "You're a pathetic, absolutely pathetic waste of space. I can't believe I married you."
Imagine that you this guy, like that guy on the left there with the grey hair, with the guy with the blue shirt on. Imagine that going with grandkids, and you got grandkids, and you're going home and go, "Oh, granddad, you banned these toys. What's wrong with you?" Like, what an embarrassment! It's just like, how? But you know what? Should we be surprised? Again, this comes down to a lack of advocacy. Right, a lack of striking when it counts at a political level over the years when we've had balance of powers, or we've just squandered that balance of power. It's been a error after error after error, lack of representation really up until now at this point, a lack of actual bite of actually going to court and taking them. This is why we're in this position now. All these things have really catapulted us into this one area, which is they're now banning Nerf guns. It's our fault. I've got to admit, we blame them. We blame them, but we've allowed this to happen. Our organizations have allowed this to happen. Our political parties have allowed this to happen without fighting back. That's all you can really say. That's all you can really say. That's just the crux of the matter. They'll say, "Oh no, we're doing this," and we put a disability sign on a public toilet somewhere in the middle of wherever it was, and that was their claim to fame. Well, at the end of the day, this is why we're in this position. It really is our fault, and we've supported organisations in the past that have really done us a number on us, and we're still going to be paying for it, mate, for a long time to come, until at such time their bottom dollar starts being affected. Then maybe they'll stand up.
Yes. Yeah, well, this is one step away from banning garden hoses. It really is.
Well, again, sorry to put it so bluntly, but when you've been doing this 10 years, I just don't give a shit anymore. I just don't care because, people just got to say it. If you don't like it, well, I don't really care, But most people in this stream would probably watch us. They understand it. They get it. They understand it. So start educating your friends. Start educating your new shooters into what's going on. Get them political in a certain way. Get them joining organisations that are fighting for them. It's the only way forward. And, and admonishing the ones that aren't doing anything.
Yep, exactly. They've got to be. It's come to the time now. It's been 25 years since the Port Arthur.
Yep.
It's got to come to a time where people have to start taking responsibility and start justifying their existence, I think. But if you're asking for money from people, you have to justify what you're doing. It should be open and transparent what you're doing or what you aren't doing. You just can't keep holding your hand out for money and everything, and you can't show what you're actually providing these people. It's gone beyond the point of offering a range or insurance or whatever what these people offer. It's gone beyond that now. It's getting to the stage where they're attacking gun after gun after gun. You look at last year, what was it? Western Australia had over 21 firearms banned. It's gotten beyond just the NFA now. It's getting to the point where everything's starting to get banned now. Toy guns, spud guns, you name it, airsoft. There's no way in hell we'll ever
slingshots, fireworks. Yeah. You know what I mean? Again, our soldiers will be rolling over in their graves, man. Absolutely embarrassment of what this country's become. And then the Liberals, the Liberals are just Labor light. The Liberals aren't going to do it. Liberal National Party, they're not going to do anything. I mean, I interviewed Bridget McKenzie about a year ago. Suppressors talking all this hoopla. Sounds great. It all sounds great. Same as the pro-gun parties. All sounds fantastic. Totally agree with you. Again, all talk, no action constantly. Oh, but I'm just one person in Parliament,
What did I tell you when you phoned me and said she contacted you? What did I tell you?
You said don't do it, I think. You said don't do it, possibly, I think, or trying to buzz off or whatever.
Don't do it. She's going to self-promote a new book or whatever it was. It's going to promote the suppressor thing. All fucking talk. Where's these suppressors? Where's the bills? Where's the law changes? Nothing. Quiet. Absolutely quiet. I knew that would turn into nothing.
It'd be good to let people in the comments. I want to ask them and put in the comments, guys, please. What do you think the way forward is? What can we do? Because clearly it's not getting any better. Sure, we've got organisations now stepping up. That's fantastic. And, we'll always praise other organisations as well that do stand up and actually make a change, not just, some stupid e-petition, writing to a politician. I've done that for 10 years since doing this podcast. And it hasn't done diddly squat. I'd never write to a politician again because I'd just be clearly wasting my time. You've got to basically hit them at a court of law. I have heard some people say, and I think there's some a valid story to that too. People say, well, what's the point of going to court? The courts work for the government as well. Probably a fair call to say. Probably, I'd have to wait and see what the outcomes are. We saw no courts go against the government in Victoria when people are taking him to the Supreme Court in regards to the Constitution, in regards to these lockdowns and so forth. Is a judge going to go out on a whim to really enforce what should be something that's reasonable or law? Sometimes that's not always the case. So, it's a fair question. Ombudsmen, police, VCATs, they're all paid by the government. They're all paid by the government who pay police, who pay tribunals, who pay court justice, saying, "Oh, we're independent." Are they really independent? I don't know.
Now look where the pay checks come from. If it comes from taxpayers, they ain't independent. That's for sure. Thank you very much.
Here's an interesting one. What do you guys think about this? So it's towards the bottom, man. Very interesting one. I disagree with this one. Maybe someone who has a vested interest here in paintball. So Shoebird says, way forward is banning gel ball and letting paintball reign supreme as it should be. Well, I'm sorry, Shoebird. No, completely disagree. I think we should have airsoft. I think we should have paintball, and gel blasters should not be illegal. So I'm presuming either you have some vested interest in the industry to be saying something like that. So sorry, mate. Totally disagree. We couldn't be more opposing. And this is the attitude that's getting us into this situation, again, that we're in now.
And we should have semi-autos. And suppressors. And 50 cows.
What do you think about this comment? Way forward is banning gel ball just so paintball can reign supreme. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments.
Well, paintball doesn't reign supreme. You can't use it in your backyard. Paintball range, you belong to a paintball club, and you got to have a license for a paintball marker, which is ridiculous. There's no way that's supreme whatsoever. Right now, well, in Queensland right now, the supreme thing is gel blasters. I think we're the last state now to be allowed to have gel blasters. I'd like to thank Adam here for his $10 donation. Skirmish Sports Australia is proud to stand with NSC and fight this rubbish. Thanks for giving it some airtime. Thank you, legal firearm owners who support us. You're more than welcome. Even though we don't see these as firearms, we don't want to see this get banned. It makes Australia look absolutely pathetic and the laughing stock. That makes our police force look weak and beyond pathetic. And we just don't want to see that at all. No, police should be something that we should be proud of, and they stand up for the civilians, and they're doing good, not banning kids' toys, to be quite honest.
Colin Penfold said David Elliott, who's the police minister in New South Wales, says that he's after gun owners and journalists now. I mean, you saw that Friendly Geordies. I mean, I'm obviously not politically aligned with his type of commentary. I think he's funny sometimes, but he's definitely left-leaning. He's done interviews, I think, with Kevin Rudd, amongst other people. I mean, now John Barilaro is getting people arrested because, for journalism, we're seeing it in Victoria with RV Yemeni and all those guys in Victoria, Real Rukshan. All these independent journalists, cops saying, well, are you registered with Victorian Police? So if you don't have your papers, your Gestapo papers, well, you're not allowed to, conduct your trade in Victoria. So, yeah, very scary indeed. Very scary times ahead.
Exactly. And here's our friend JR. Thank you very much, JR, for the $10. This is how uninformed people are. A friend of mine didn't believe me that he probably will get his gun license cancelled after being done for speeding twice in a couple of months. Exactly. They use the bullshit excuses. If you can't follow road rules, you can't follow gun laws, so we're taking your guns off you. And we've seen that happen before, haven't we?
Yeah. I mean, Acme Firearms said best thing to do is get out there, enjoy your shooting sports, have fun. The do-gooders hate when you have fun. Yeah, but for how long? How long can we have fun before they start coming after? I mean, they're coming after toys now. So that's the weird part, isn't it? They're coming after guns to a certain degree, but they'd rather an outright ban on gel blasters, right? Which is different than what South Australia did. So again, I can't have a toy, but I can have a real gun. Fuck. What? No
Exactly. It's
It's
fucking nuts.
It's just like, anyone that was saying, if someone was actually saying this to me, like I'd think, fuck you, is something wrong with you? You got a disability, which is fine if you got a disability, no problem. A lot of people that got minor disabilities that shoot sport, fantastic. But you have to think someone had a major mental health issues if you believe that you could, into banning toys. It's just, I can't even explain it. I'm lost for words for the first time.
Yeah. Well, I've told the story before, haven't I, about when I used to do competitive shooting, the pistols that down, I think it was Victoria. Yeah, it was Victoria. A toy collector, brought in the old 50s spud guns, still in the box, like 100 of them. And they were going for like $500, $600 a pop, still in the shrink wrap wrapping from the 50s. Brought them in. What do the cops do? First thing, rip open the box, one of the boxes, $500 gone on the spot for collectors. Looked at it, said, this is a pistol. It fires a projectile, a bit of potato, the ones that used to stab into it. They said to him, you're going to have to stamp serial numbers on every single one and only sell them to registered firearm owners. A spud gun. The guy then, from what I made out, actually sued the police force for getting the money back for the box he opened up and loss of income, and he had to find a seller at a loss overseas to send them back to, because you don't open those. When you collect stuff, you don't open the boxes for a spud gun.
Mate, nothing surprised me. Sometimes when me and Aaron starts ringing me up and goes, I heard something, I ring him up, and we're both like, is this a joke? It sounds so off the cuff, ridiculous that we always say, is this a joke or are you being serious? Like, no, serious. Like, you're not. No one's really surprised, are they?
Well, whenever Jason and we talk to each other each day, is nothing's a joke anymore. Everything's serious. No, there is no joking.
Here we go. Maybe this is a good one too. Before you read that one out, KK Huggy, sorry, they're trying to ban toys that get kids interested in real guns. The anti-gunners are playing a long game for complete ban on private gun ownership. I'd probably agree with you there. Definitely. Maybe that's it. Yeah. I mean, again, you get kids into shooting guns. Naturally, they want to play these Call of Duties or Xbox or PlayStations or PC games, and they get interested in shooting. I mean, I've always been interested when I was young, not necessarily from computer games, but I've always played first-person shooters. I know Aaron did growing up in that too. So. Yeah. Maybe that's part of it. Yeah, that getting kids interested in firearms is not what they want to do. That's why you got to keep converting people into gun ownership, friends, family, get them shooting, get them enjoying it.
Well, when I grew up, everyone had a air rifle and just went out shooting. That's what people did. And when I was in my early 20s, before I came over here to live, if you didn't shoot a gun, you were seen as like some sort of weirdo. And chicks didn't want to know you. I was like, well, what's wrong with you? You don't shoot guns, you don't hunt, you're considered like an outcast. But over here, it's a totally different story. Here's Bagara. Thank you very much, Bagara. Only solution, if all pro-gun people live in one state, we would win elections and have our own laws. And best of all, no crime, no home invasion, because armed society is a safe society. So what Jason and me have been saying all along. Queensland was the only state to hold out for the NFA. They said, no, we're not going to do it. We're not going to ban semi-autos. Then old John Coward came in and said that you're not going to get the GST money. When they brought the GST tax in that he said he would never, ever do, you will not be getting any of that. And they just saw dollar signs, then said, yeah, okay, we'll fall in line and we'll ban the guns along with every other state in Australia.
And you've said this too. I'll give you a perfect example. People have said to me, well, one of the guys that I know said it to me the other day, well, we got pro-gun parties to thank the fact that the guns aren't banned and we still have guns. I mean, we've never, at least I recall, correct me if I'm wrong, there might have been, maybe the category guys, obviously. It's just they're lower house as far as I'm aware. So take them out of it for just a second, because there's no upper house in Queensland, right? Take them out of it for a second, right? They've basically got zero representation in Queensland and have for quite some time. And even if the government did want to ban guns, their vote would not matter anyway, right? So they could still do what they wanted. So basically, there's basically zero representation for gun owners in Queensland, right, that would actually have the power to stop the government doing what they want to do, and they haven't banned guns. So places actually that have guns or have pro-gun politicians have actually fared worse than states that actually basically don't have representation at that political level. So this is what doesn't make sense to me. It's just, how does this work? I mean, Queensland really hasn't had that representation, yet they don't have anywhere near the gun ban. So to say that if we don't have political people in Parliament, guns will be banned is really not stacking up.
No, exactly. I agree totally. The whole thing just getting out, unfortunately, it's getting out of hand, but unfortunately next week it's really going to hit home, guys. So make sure you watch next week's live stream, because this is going to really hit home what is coming for us all. 2021 is going to be one hell of a fight, and I definitely urge every single importer in Australia to jump on board, because this is going to affect every importer in Australia.
Yeah.
What
they're
going
Sometimes I get it. Some of the importers, they go, if they, which I get it, this is the problem. Profit over shooters. This is another problem. I get it. If you rear your ugly head, you get your guns banned. If you're an importer, you get your gun banned. So they're like, well, we just want to make $1. Well, this is the problem again. This is why we're in the position that we're in. Some of these places will say, oh, we'll help you fight the ban, or we'll have a couple of parties go into support of each other to fight the ban. Then they're like, no, we don't want to fight the ban, because then if they start looking like they're putting up resistance and going to court and all that, they get on the police and the government's radar. Then they ban more of their guns. No, we just want to make money. That's all. It's not about shooting sports. We just want to make money. And again, this is a lot of the problem again.
But what's going to happen? Every importer is going to be affected by this, because at least one of their guns are going to be banned, and several importers that never make any noise and just comply are going to be affected, because they actually import several types of these guns.
Yeah, and people say who to vote for. Listen, if they're not getting rid of the NFA and they're talking about no to semi-autos and no to suppressors and no to self-defense, and they've just started to work their way as a more of a Nationals 2.0 type parties, whether that's, Shooters and Fishers, LDP, One Nation. Someone was mentioning the Reignite Democracy Party and from Victoria. I don't know their stance on firearms. If they don't agree with it, look at their policies. Look at what they're saying on the internet. Look at their history on YouTube. Look at their videos. See what they're saying. Do your own research. If they don't believe those things, they're not worth voting for. End of story. End of story, bar none.
Yep, that's what we've been saying for ages. And our friend JR, this is how uninformed people are. A friend of, I didn't believe, we read that, didn't we? It just came up again. Okay, well, thank you again, JR, for that. It's the same story that came up. Same message. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Yes, exactly. It's the pro-gunners, so-called fake pro-gun parties. All I hear is promises and bullshit. At election time, after that, it doesn't. You don't hear from for another 4 years. Look at our own Joe Biden here in Queensland. 50-odd years, and he's achieved absolutely nothing for us. Absolutely nothing.
Anyway, what do you do? I guess we're just going to keep hoping, guys, up and up. It's going to be a good year. Let's will our way into some good stuff, I reckon.
Okay, I'm going to give a shout out here, right, to my mate Rod. Now, I work with Rod, top bloke. He's my neighbour. We are all going for him when we're going for me, obviously coming to my place when the shit goes down. So good on you, Rod. Yeah, you got your shout out. You're awesome. Top dude. We have a great time. Nice bloke.
Here we go. And Salty, he knows a bloke who lived in Alaska, and he said pretty much everyone has a gun sitting beside their front door, and home invasions were very rare because people know the consequences. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, I wouldn't be going into someone's house, definitely in America. That's for sure. Yeah. Not even remotely. I wouldn't even think about it because you just never know, especially in, even in California, you just never know who's going to be carrying a firearm. I mean, definitely.
Well, you listen to it when I get Hootie on or Mark from Fit and Fire when they come on. They talk about all this. And, it's just unbelievable, the stories. Their lives have been saved and their families' lives have been saved through being allowed to defend their lives. And the cops, see, this is the thing. Banning toy guns over here by the police, people who don't have any trust or faith in police at all. Over in America, when the states that the cops are gun friendly, they have full respect. They're respected in the community because they push people to actually have guns and defend themselves, and they support the right to life in the civilian population, and they have major respect, and they are held in very, very high regard. Do you think this grey-headed bastard in WA telling them we're going to ban toy guns is respected? Of course not. He's a laughing stock. Absolutely laughing stock. Yeah, and I'm sure he's a laughing stock. I'm sure he's a laughing stock inside the police force as well.
Yeah, definitely, man. But what do you do, man? If there was a way forward, we're going to try and take it at some stage and figure out a way forward. But I guess slowly and steadily. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. It's just well, the fight's about to start, guys, for saving our guns in 2021. That's for sure.
Yeah, imagine that though. Police and shooters working together in unison. I mean, instead of our police in Australia seeing shooters as basically they just see us as being the enemy. They say they don't, right? But they do. They really do, because they just keep attacking law-abiding firearms owners instead of trying to get illegal guns off the street out of the hands of criminals. Because law-abiding people, they know where the guns are. It's easy just to attack law-abiding people. But wouldn't it be a great day when we're working hand in hand with the police, like they do in communities in the states, where you go down and you talk to your local sergeant and you have a chat, and you get your permit, and they give advice, and we have a chat and have a laugh, and he recommends you defend yourself and stuff like that, and get proper training and so forth, and a lot of mutual respect amongst law enforcement and concealed carry or firearms owners in a lot of these states in America. Yet over here, they just treat us as being the enemy. And I'm like, I don't know why they keep treating us as the enemy, and they get upset with negative publicity. And it's like, well, you just create it yourself. We're saying we want to support each other. We want that support structure with the police, but you guys just keep kicking us in the face when we're down. You kick us in the head, you knock us down, then you kick us in the guts, and then we're flat on our faces, and then we're about to get up, you kick us in the face again and knock our teeth out. Like, well, it's like an abused, an abused relationship. How about working with us for once? We'd love it, instead of banning our shit all the time and then crying like bitches when people call you out on it and banning toys. How about getting with us and going in support? Then you might get a bit of respect back from the shooting community. At the moment, they've got none for you, none, zero.
Well, maybe shooters should take a DV out on the entire police force for constant abuse.
Yeah, well, I feel like that's what it is. I feel like they're kicking me when I'm down. Kick me, and then not much left. But,
Exactly.
Hey, there's always this year. Let's see how things play out. Let's see what happens. Bagara operator said, Aaron, he goes, for Pete's sake, but give us a hint for next week, I presume is what he's talking about. But
I hold off on a purchase, guys? Well, we don't bring you half-ass shit. So I just got a little bit. I've got to make a few phone calls. I've got more information to gather. So I don't buy a gun this week. Let's put it this way. I just want to make a few more phone calls. I know a lot of people in this industry. I'd like to get the facts straight, and I'd like to talk to the people directly who are bringing these guns in. So, we'll have it all next week. I just don't want to go off half-cocked again, or not again, because I never have. But I just don't want to. Just next week, guys. That's all I can say. Next week, we'll spill all the beans on what is about to happen and what they are coming for. So, but
And Aaron Johnson said, Kennesaw, Georgia. Yep, lowest crime rate in America because every law-abiding citizen is armed by law. Exactly. You have to be, it's for law. You have to have a firearm. to live in Kennesaw, Georgia. So there you go. Again, one of the lowest crime rates across the whole country of the United States. So
I don't think there's been a murder there since what's the documentary today? I think it's 1956 was the last murder they ever had.
Oh, I can't remember, man. I'm not up on that sort of thing, but
Oh, thank you, Lockie, for the $10 as well. Sorry, I'm late. The Ammo Fund donation. Thank you very much, Lockie. Much appreciated. Yes, it's going to be interesting times later on this year. That's for sure. Yeah, and I'm sorry. It's come time for organisations and wholesalers to step up to the plate and start standing up for us.
There we go. We might have something down the track. Chris Legendary. Any news on straight pulls in New South Wales? Well, not yet, but hopefully in the future we'll be able to bring you some information. We'll let you know down the track if anything eventuates.
Yeah, exactly. New South Wales and guns don't really mix too well, do they?
No, they don't. But anyway, we should game shot. We should just become police officers. That's what we need. We need a cultural change, especially in the police forces. Police ministers need to stand up and start, pulling these people in line. Start, removing a lot of power from the police commissioner and start saying, no, I run this show. You do what I say. That's what should be happening. But again, the behaviour is so indoctrinated in the police force. They think they're untouchable. This is half the problem. Again, complete clean out, complete rebuilding of public support for the police is required.
Now, I don't agree with this, and I don't agree with our friend ART. GameShot can't beat him, join him. No, because if you join the police force, you've got to fall in line and follow their rhetoric. So you go.
I did all that too. Remember they said, join your local shooting club, get on the boards, get on the committees, and wait, I did it. Complete waste of time. Don't waste your time. Doesn't eventuate to anything because you got to fight other people. You got all the old fuddy-duddies that, single shot 22s and you only need a bolt action. It's just entrenched, man. Complete clean-outs required. Police, organisations, shooting clubs, complete clean-outs. Total change of thinking because they're not thinking long-term. Complacency is what killed us.
Yep, exactly. And, let's keep repeating myself. It's time people just stood up to the plate. People who invested in the industry need to start standing up for us. I know I don't get along with a lot of them because they don't like the sort of information and the truth I bring out about them and about the industry. But guys, if you're watching it, it's time you stood up and start fighting for shooters and make it public. Right? Sell you got products to sell. I know I'm only gonna buy products from companies that actually stand up for us. I'm not going to waste my money anymore on products that are for importers that don't stand up for us.
Yeah, if they're not vocal, don't buy. If they're not vocal, don't buy. But then again, people go, I use that or I use this. I couldn't possibly do that. Well, this is why we're in the position that we're in.
Yeah, and here's our friend Sterren. If you've been watching the live streams, he's the poor bastard that got his guns taken off him because he saved his neighbour's life and had to take his gun with him while he rendered first aid while she was dying on the ground from a stab wound and saved her life, and he got his guns taken off him. I live in a dangerous town in this country, and we have a spike in youth attacking elderly women in broad daylight in public. Still can't get access to pepper spray, even if we are properly trained. How pathetic is that?
Yep. Not surprising. Is anyone really surprised? I'm a little bit a couple of these comments. I'm just reading a couple of the comments. See if we got some good ones before we finish. We're allowed to shoot. Yeah, well, that's another one too. Someone says we weren't allowed to shoot with the local cops at the range because we embarrassed them. Well, that's the same thing as well. Normally they're using public ranges too. Again, I'd be instantly removing all access to private-based range or from all ranges from any law enforcement. Based on the fact they keep, why would they be allowed to shoot on our range? They keep, smashing us and keep hitting us. So again, you got your organisations that have got the ranges that again just don't have any backbone. Don't have any backbone. If I was in charge of the clubs, yep, no more law enforcement at our ranges. End of story. At least in an official capacity, of government capacity, like where they shut down ranges and have range days or testing days. Nah, not using our ranges. Go away. See ya. Bye.
Well, that's what they did in New Zealand, didn't they? After the massacre in New Zealand, they started banning guns. A lot of gun clubs stood up and said, no, you can't shoot here. Oh, we have to. We need our compliance. Well, too bad, go somewhere else. And they had, and in the small towns, they had nowhere else to go apart from drive 3-4 hours one way.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, when it starts hurting them, why? Again, it's like Stockholm syndrome. Why do we keep, hugging and kissing our abuser? Doesn't make sense.
Well, I can tell you now, I heard that they get about $500. The clubs get about $500 a day for having the cops there. So that's a bit of income for them.
I keep saying,
follow the money.
Yeah, follow the greenbacks. Follow the greenbacks. Follow the greenbacks, and you'll find out what their intentions are. Anyway, we're 9 o'clock, mate. Let's finish off. That's it. Good show.
I reckon it's been a good show. And that's all good. Yes, thank you very much, guys, for joining us for another Wednesday night. It's been an absolute pleasure. Glad the football isn't on tonight, or cricket, or whatever the thing was last week. But thank you very much for joining us. And please tune in next week and share next week's link. We've got to get as many shooters in Australia onto this live stream next week. We're going to explain a lot of things about what's coming up. So
we hit the like button before we go. Got to hit the like button.
So I was going to say, hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Let's get 10,000 subscribers. I still haven't even reached my 12,000 yet that I had when YouTube destroyed and took down my last channel. So hit the subscribe button. Find us on all the social medias, and like and subscribe and share. You got to share the videos, guys. Like the gun review I did during the week. You got to share it. It gets the algorithm going. More people will see our videos, and we'll extend the Shooting Stuff Australia family on Wednesday nights because they'll come over it. So everybody watching right now, there's hundreds of people in the live stream right now. Please just click the share button and share this on whatever platform you're on. I'd really, really appreciate it. And go down, and you can find us on all the social medias. Jason's podcast, he has podcasts every 2 weeks, and find us on there. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you have a great, safe week, and get out this weekend and do some shooting. Good night.